Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again, and I'm bringing you a found footage movie, but also that jumps to real time movie. So, and that can be annoying. Personally, I don't like that. There, there are two things in found footage movies that I do not want to hear. That is a soundtrack. So let the environment be your sound, right? And then the second part is this. It's called a found footage movie. You have to have an excuse to film, and nowadays it's hard to find a good excuse, to film everything, even when you're chased or something by a ghost or a madman or whatever, right? And meanwhile, you're pissing your pants. I mean that's that's not the most ideal situation. I understand, but this one is called "There Are Monsters" from 2013, directed by Jay Dahl. Never heard of him. And the four people you basically have to. I didn't write their names. They didn't even had photos on Instagram, on IMDb. You've got Beth. She's the female of the group. You have got an investigation crew slash a a crew that's still going to school, but they're trying to be an investigation school, and it's their job. It's a piece of their job, so they're getting paid to. Now, so we got Beth, Jeff, a romantic situation between these two. Then you got Terry, and then Dan. And Terry's the comedic relief. He's the fat guy. He's the comedic relief. Now they're going to schools. They're going to dentists and everything. And everything where the children are involved to see how the teachers react, the dentists react, and how the children react, and this and that. That's basically their job. It's not big. It's not a big job, but it's a paying job. So they're already working for a studio, and they're studying on the side, right? But then there is this moment that happens that everybody um, they see weird people standing like in a corner, like somebody said, stand in the corner, you've done something bad. Now this is gonna be a spoiler alert, but uh, the problem is this movie, to explain this movie I'm already gonna have to spoil it from now. So i'll 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 tell you what I thought of the movie. um, it gets I believe a 5.2. I would give it a 5. Yes. And I would give it a 5.5 if it didn't swap from real time to found footage, right? Because there are moments when, who the hell is filming this guy? Who the hell is filming this guy, right? And then same with the girl, who the hell is filming them? Who? And yeah, that's confusing. So same with Beth. At some point, Beth and Jeff in the car, and nobody's really on the back seat, but a camera guy, not a camera guy, somebody from the movie, not the movie they are making, but the movie of There Are Monsters. Um, and like I said, that's frustrating. That's a little bit. Is there a movie there was one movie, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That's a movie that I liked that they did that because they couldn't they didn't have any excuse to use the camera at the end when he goes ape shit towards the teenagers and going to slice and dice them, and they can't just sit along and let this happen. So they take off their mics. You see them now, all three of them. You see the camera, the sound guy. You see the camera guy. Uh, you know that, but that was a good interaction into okay, let's do this. Come on. Uh, because if you would say, come on, let's film this, that would be stupid. That would be, first of all, that would hinder you. They know how well organized Leslie was, the killer was in that movie. So no, this one, yeah, it's a different case because so an example, there so, the bottom what I thought of the movie is it's creepy. It has some really creepy moments, and these creepy jump scare moments. Um, and this movie is actually reminds me of a movie that came out in I think 2018, Smile. Um, these monsters smile like extremely wide. So this is straight out of the horror movie Smile. It's so um, rip off maybe, who knows, because this one was first. So for at some point, Beth is going to the supermarket. um, Dan and Jeff, they go to the toilet, and Terry is sitting in the he's staying in the van, but he also sees a girl standing. I mean, a girl, a young female standing in the corner, and she's trying to, hey, is everything okay? And when Beth, that's a really tense and creepy shot. So at some point they're standing there. So, wait. Before you go and see this movie, I recommend to see this movie absolutely. Even though it's from found footage to real time, I recommend this one. It has some really creepy moments, and like I said, it's about monsters that take over people. And Smile is the only spoiler that I can give you, because these people just start to smile really, like in the movie Smile. If you've seen the movie Smile or the cover of Smile, okay. So sorry, I forgot to, for the people who don't want to see spoilers, stop this review, maybe come back, and let's talk spoilers. So, like I said, they enter this toll booth, and nobody's there. Only one guy standing in a corner. There's okay, it's free toll. Then they go, like I said, to two guys to the bathroom. One bed goes to the supermarket, and then Terry stays behind. But he sees a woman standing there, and Beth is all alone in this entire supermarket, and it's already creepy. It's creepy. There's something going on, and then she sees somebody in the. I think it's the with those see-through flaps. That's the room where all the Kohler products are kept. And there's standing a shadowy figure looking at her. You can't see what it is, but it's looking at her, or she is looking at her, because it's obviously a woman, but it's weird. Then she's like, ding, 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 putting the bell to be held, and then out of so out of nowhere somebody comes to help her. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, it's a nice day, isn't it? Oh, this is already melted. She had this power bar. You know what? Go to the refrigerator room. I bet you there's a frosty one. And refrigerator room is the room where she looks up, and the refrigerator room, the female, the female looking shadow is still standing there, and keeps she keeps pressuring her to go there. And then eventually she says, listen, I'll just take this, and then she does, she's doing like, okay, that's good, cash then. And she gives cash, and then you see her bloody fingers, and she's, you forgot your change. And she says, no, no, no problem. And then we go over to Terry, who's in the van, and he sees that girl, and that girl immediately breaks the side window, and it's like a monster, black eyes, this big of a jaw, and and immediately gone again. When the rest of the group arrives, they say, what the hell was that? What, let's just go to a hotel and just let it be for today. So they go to a hotel. They eventually, somebody knocks on their door, and she says, listen, can I come in? Why? I'm 3 rooms down the door, 3 rooms further. Can I come in, please? Can I come in? Because you're making an awful lot of noise, and you're making fun, and that proves to me that you're still human and not these monsters. Okay, okay, come in, come in. At some point she said, I don't know what's happening. My husband, he, at one day he was my husband, and then the other day he wasn't my husband. He was, and he looked at me, and he had this fake big smile at me, like, and he was charging himself towards me, but luckily I fell backwards, and you know he missed me. So she ran away, and she hoped that nobody would find her there, but they found her. She said, that's my husband's pickup truck there. So you guys need to protect me. I need to be with you. You're the only humans, or somebody in your group is already infected. And then everybody's looking to each other, and then the the door wasn't locked. The husband comes in, the daughter comes in, the daughter's son comes in. Mom, you're okay. Listen, she's a schizophrenic. She's taking pills now for so many years, and she says, I never had an attack in 14 years. This is real what I'm seeing. No, 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 mom, come on, let's go home. Just calm down, let's go home. She's fucked, right? She's fucked. Um, this movie, besides the movie Smile, this movie also had the feeling of the invasion of the body snatchers, of the pulp people. Yeah, that feeling of the pulp people. That was also something that I felt in this movie, because these monsters are there to take over the world. It's not just they want to live in a certain area, they want to take over the world. There's a moment where Beth comes across somebody where she went to high school with, and she's like supplying her entire car full of it. And she's yeah, see, water, canned food, everything, survival food, And she says, "Whoa, you went shopping?" Yes, yes, yes. See you around, Beth. See you around. And she drives away. And I think because she said, okay, no problem. She made contact with her. She knew she was still human, but she didn't trust the rest of the group. She believed that one of the other group's members were one of the monsters, so she got the hell out of there. Now, in the car, Beth told Jeff, I think it's Dan. Dan is the one who's been driving a lot. I think it's Dan. Dan, Dan is a pothead. He's always smoking. He's always doing weird shit. No, 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 no. I think it's Dan. It's definitely Dan. And then they ask this question about his path, because apparently the monsters can't remember anything that happened at that moment and after. Nothing that happened. Nothing that happened after. Only the things that happened now. They don't know whose name or where they went to, and for some reason Dan knew this. Now Dan is one of these monsters, so I do not understand how he knew this. So this contradicts everything, because the last uh, um, because this documentary they're making is all over the place, because their last stop was a bank. So I don't know what that has to do with children, but they're going into the bank, and we see that almost there's this coffin, this woman coffin, and then we see there's also a moment way before, when Beth is going to the bathroom, and she sees twins with blonde hair, and they're putting on. She's looking through looking through the peephole, like, of the door, cracked it a little bit open, and she sees they're putting up too much lipstick on, and they're doing like their mouths become bigger, and she's like, oh shit, and they hurt her, and they run away, and she's like looking. Those are moments again without a camera, So she's looking, uh, and then she sees a pair of shoes standing in front of the door. And then she says, "You better get away, because I don't like this." And get away, but again, a moment without a camera in the supermarket, a moment without a camera, but it was super creepy. It was mega creepy. The tension, the fact that it was super tense, that she was all alone there with two of these humanoid monsters, and they're and the other one had blood on her fingers, and that laugh is again from Smile, and that was the thing in Smile that was so creepy, remember? And then she sees these two in the bank, these two twins. They're apparently working there. Then they don't see Dan anywhere, and Dan apparently is talking to these two twins. And then they know that Dan has something to do with those twins. Yeah, there's something going on there. So when they want to escape this woman that's coughing all the time, she was infected in a way, and she coughs up this like like an organ, and she then becomes a member of the monsters. Now we see the entire bank is running after Terry, Jeff, and Beth. And then we see Dan also running after them, and because so they're they're all flying like this against like flies against the wall. It's pretty creepy. It's pretty intense. And then we see Dan standing in front of the car, and he's like, it's pretty intense. Pretty intense. Um, and they proceed to, and that's something I didn't understand what the fuck they're doing. They go to Beth's uh, parents. I think so. They're her parents, and I, I don't know. Maybe she wanted, yeah, she wanted to know what's going on with her parents, but on the everything looking from the window looked up looked fine. They were laughing. They weren't like emotionless, because the monsters were like emotionless. But then they go in, they go to the attic, and they find grandma and grandpa there. Grandpa is not. It seems like grandpa isn't infected, but grandma is infected. She does that weird smile thing, and she also had sisters. I believe one, also blonde haired. They get attacked, but Terry stayed in the car. They get attacked, and at some point they see the entire house surrounded by these things, and Terry's car is being completely torn to pieces because they're super strong. So he's running away. There's this moment where again he's not filmed. He sees there's in multiple times there's a scene where there's a boy with a like a pig head mask, and he's with his sister with a pony face, and he says, "Come on, come on! I'm 250 pounds. I can take you two kids." And the pony face girl's like, she super fast takes off the door like it's nothing, and then the pony, the pig kid, flies at him, and I'm not sure what they, I'm, I'm just not sure what they're doing. And the, yeah. So the other two are they went to the basement. Good job. They don't have any light in there. You have this creepy moment when they're using a with their cell phones with a flashlight. Taking pictures, and at some point taking picture, and the thing is in front of her, her sister, and she's. Uh, I think she's fighting Jeff, and then again she's she finds a flashlight. She sees Jeff. He says, shh. So he they get it. Find a way out. They find a car with car keys in, and they're in the car, and they drive away. And then she's like, "I love you, Jeff. I love you." And he says, "I love you too. I love you too." Oh, yes. Uh, Remember that, you know, football club that we were in? Yes. And you already get the picture what's gonna happen, right? Oh, remember that chant we had? Yes. Uh, can you sing it? He's, the laugh, and then of course we just see the car from a distance, and movie's done. Then, if you wait to the credits end, we see that girl from the beginning that saw Beth, and the one that went to high school with her, that went to high school, the black haired girl that was basically, buying all these jugs of water, canned foods. But I don't understand why she goes on this metro station train and full of these things, but she apparently, as long as she doesn't show emotions, that's actually the same thing that the pod people, invasion of the pod people, that's the way you could infiltrate in them, showing no emotion and trying to block it off. But then she sees Beth, and she thinks Beth uh, is still a human. So what she's just going in front, and she looks at Beth, and Beth is reading a book. So she thinks, oh, she's still reading a book, that's human. And then she looks at Beth, and she's smiling, and then she's like, this is the end of the world. You know this, right? And she's like, and then you see from a distance all these people on the metro, and again, and you see blood against the window. So I don't really know what they actually do. Do they kill them by eating them? But then they kill them. right? Then they should look like zombies. But the old lady in the bank, she coughed up a like bloody organ looking thing. So that's a different way. So I don't understand. I really don't understand what they Terry too. He when that piglet with that boy with the piglet face, I mean with the piglet mask, he attacks Terry, and you see him gnawing, and then you see that part of his mask broken off, and you see all the blood. So he they they he probably bit his throat out. I mean, I'm it's weird. It's really weird. Maybe maybe if they decide if they can decide to kill you by eating you, or they can decide to put a sort of monster in you and that gestates in you, and then you uh, become that. Maybe that organ thing is the monster that's gonna become the monster, or she has to eat it or something. That's untrue. So that's the movie. So basically, the movie, it's a good movie. It kept me entertained. It was a combination between Smile that I saw in 2000, was it 18, the first Smile movie, and Invasion of the Pods of the Body Snatchers, and it was good. It was good. There were a few creepy moments, although these were the moments that weren't filmed, and yeah, acting was good. Um, the, the the monsters, the faces were human, but just with these giant mouths and black eyes, and they looked creepy, and like super fast, like against the car, and the power just rip off a door. I mean, they were strong, and yeah, I don't know. It was a good movie. It was a really really good movie. In a way that I like. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 5.5 because I liked Smile, and I really like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and this movie had that. And okay, I'm gonna forgive it that it uh, goes from found footage to real time. It constantly you know goes from that to that to that to that, but I'm forgiving it 5.5. And something this one is a watcher. This one really, I would recommend this one, if not for the not found footage fans, but so let's say my likes are, like I said, really creepy. Like I said, the Smile movie and the Invasion of the pod the, the Body Snatchers from 1978, this with Donald Sutherland. This movie remembered me, and really hard. It looked really hard compared to compared to those movies. Then the acting was good. The people who were basically monsters, their acting was good. They came over really creepy. Um, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Uh, I don't know when Dan became one of them. He probably was lured somewhere, but Dan had something that just was gestating in him, like that woman in the bank. So that's the problem. So that's my dislike. They don't really explain too much, and you need a little bit of explanation. Okay, it's obvious they like human flesh, right? But they need to produce, they reproduce. They need to have more people, because if they eat everybody and you just have a small town, that's not the way to conquer Earth. So I don't, I, I don't understand their kill pattern or their infecting pattern. Didn't understand it. It's laying something in their stomach. Just there's a moment even where uh, Jeff has two women sucking on his arm all the way through here and here, and he's standing there like this, and it's also not shown that he gets out of them, but then he's miraculously in the basement with the ending is a little bit a mishmash. Yeah, the ending is a bit. The ending was a downer. The movie is good, but the ending, the last 10 minutes are. But because you don't know. Okay, okay. So okay, who died? When did that happen? The ending is the ending is a little bit. You had that creepy moment with the the flash, the cam flash, but that's it. So, but in any case, I recommend it. I recommend it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Maybe like it if you like it, and subscribe. It's totally free. And by the way, I use CapCut, so I'm losing money on you guys. That's how devoted I am. I'm paying a monthly subscription for editing these videos. So that's how hard I care. You guys, badges of honor. See you next time.